He walked in with her, smiled at me, and said, "This is the woman I'm going to marry. My name is Emily, and the night that changed my life forever began with a simple family dinner and ended with my husband walking in with another woman. He stood there proudly, holding her hand, and introduced her as his future wife, while I was still standing there as his current one. But before that night, there was a long journey of slow heartbreak. A journey that I didn't even realize I was on. When Daniel and I got married, he treated me like I was the center of his universe. Every morning started with love, every night ended with warmth. He said I was his forever, he said he would never leave my side. And like every wife, I believed him. But forever came too soon. Slowly, his smile faded, his hugs got shorter. His eyes stopped searching for me. He stopped holding my hand, stopped asking about my day, stopped caring whether I was okay. He started coming home late, way too late, and each night came with a new excuse, a new story, a new lie. I tried to ignore the signs. I kept telling myself he was stressed, tired, overworked, but deep down, something was breaking. Even his family started acting strange. Their warm smiles turned into cold politeness. Their conversations became shorter. I was living with him, yet living alone, sharing a home, but not a life. Our dinners became silent. Our mornings became distant. Our nights became heavy. I tried everything, cooking his favorites, planning small surprises, asking about his day, but nothing reached him. He guarded his phone like it held a secret world. He kept it face down, locked, and always out of my reach. I cried myself to sleep some nights, wondering if I was losing him, or if I had already lost him. One afternoon, Daniel suddenly said he wanted a family dinner. No explanation, just everyone should be there. I asked him why. He just said, "You'll know. Single quotes. Little did I know that dinner wasn't a celebration, it was a funeral for our marriage." I spent the whole day preparing food, hoping maybe this was his attempt to reconnect. Maybe things would finally get better. My family arrived first, then his. Everyone was chatting, laughing, but I was nervous. Daniel was late, as always, and that should have been my first warning. When the doorbell finally rang, I stood up with a hopeful smile. But what walked in shattered me. Daniel walked in with a bright smile, the kind he hadn't given me in months. And beside him was another woman. She wasn't nervous, she wasn't shy. She stood with confidence, like she belonged there. He cleared his throat and said the words that crushed me, "Everyone. This is Eilina. She is going to be my future wife." The whole room froze, my heart stopped, I felt like I couldn't breathe. My mother gasped, my sister looked at me with tears. But his family stayed silent, cold, familiar with the situation. That's when I understood. Everyone knew, everyone except me. I felt betrayed not just by my husband, but by the entire family who hid the truth. I whispered, "Daniel, what are you doing?" He didn't blink. He just said, "Choosing what makes me happy." He said it casually, carelessly, as if I was not his wife, but a stranger standing in his way. And Eilina, she sat on my sofa like she had already taken my place, smiling at the family, ignoring my pain. My legs felt weak, my hands shook. My throat tightened, I couldn't speak. My sister ran to me, held my hand, and whispered, "You don't deserve this," and those words broke something open inside me. I realized the man I loved had stopped loving me long before this night. I couldn't stay there another second. I couldn't breathe in that room full of lies. I wiped my tears, stood up slowly, and said, "If she's your future, then I refuse to stay in your present." And with every step I took toward the door, I felt myself regaining the strength he had taken from me. That night, I packed my clothes quietly. There was no screaming, no begging, no fighting. Daniel called me over and over, but I didn't answer, not even once. I moved to my sister's home, exhausted, broken, but safe. That first night was the hardest. I cried silently, grieving the person I used to be. I kept asking myself, how long had he been planning this? Why didn't he just tell me? Why humiliate me like that? But the truth is, closure doesn't come from answers. It comes from accepting pain. When I woke up the next day, my pillow was soaked with tears. But I also felt something else, a relief. He texted, "We need to talk." I didn't reply. He made his decision publicly, so I made mine silently. I slowly started rebuilding my life, one small step at a time. My sister supported me, my family stood by me. I wasn't alone anymore. I began healing through tears, through silence, through painful honesty with myself. A few weeks later, I heard that Daniel and Eilina were already fighting. The fantasy was fading fast. He discovered that someone who cheats with you will eventually cheat on you. He started facing financial troubles, stress, arguments, sleepless nights. People around him began comparing Eilina to me. And that comparison hurt him more than anything else. He began telling mutual friends he missed my stability, my loyalty, my calmness. Meanwhile, I started finding myself again. Reading, working, smiling again. I joined a new job, met new people, learned new things. Life was opening up. My confidence grew, my laughter returned bit by bit. I came back to life. I joined therapy, and it healed parts of me I never knew were wounded. I learned to love myself, something I had forgotten while loving him. One day, he called again. This time his voice was weak. "Amelie, I made a mistake." I calmly said, "We don't fix what broke us. We walk away from it. Single quotes. And I ended the call. That moment, I felt completely free, like chains had fallen off. I built a life without him, a peaceful one, a strong one. I never looked back, not even once. Some stories end for better stories to begin. I discovered a strength inside me that I never knew existed. I started choosing things that brought me joy: books, music, walks, journaling. With every passing day, I fell more in love with myself. I was no longer afraid of losing someone because I had found myself. I realized I never lost him, he lost me. I didn't need an apology. My healing was my closure. I learned that someone's betrayal doesn't break you, it reveals who they truly are. My nights became peaceful, my mornings became hopeful. It felt like I was reborn, not as a wife, but as a woman rediscovering her worth. To anyone listening to this, never let someone treat you as an option. You deserve to be chosen every single day. Know your value, know your heart, know your strength. Sometimes the person you think is your forever is only a chapter. I moved forward, not to prove anything to him, but to prove everything to myself. My name is Amelie, and I survived betrayal that was meant to destroy me. And today, I stand strong, whole, healed. A woman who chose herself. And the night my husband introduced another woman as his future wife was the night I found my future without him. Please subscribe to my channel and press bell icon and not miss new video.